not really sure, Miss Broken Compass, where you went to school, but I'll tell you my rules of high school, and they're going to be radically different than yours. And I hope you pay attention. Okay? When I went into high school, I had already had a few years of bullying. Okay? I was the one getting bullied a lot. I got bullied quite a bit. Alright, I got bullied from the 5th grade to my senior year, so I can tell you I got bullied quite a bit. So, being the leader of the geeks, and that's what I was, okay, I expected 4 more years of bullying when I went into high school, and I was not disappointed. I ended up with 4 more years of bullying. Now, it wasn't physical, I'll grant you that, they stopped the physical part of it, but it was a lot of psychological bullying. So yes, I got bullied for 4 more years. Finally, I got out and I was like, hey, thank heavens, I'm out of here. Okay? High school, I never even thought of it being a roller coaster or a party. I never thought of it that way at all. I dreaded it. Every year it came down, it was fall time, we were going to have to go back to school, and I dreaded every single second of it. Everything. So, no. I never thought it was a roller coaster or a party. I never got really that emotionally involved with anybody. As a matter of fact, I was quite the opposite. Until my senior year, I was quite a quiet mouse. Ask anybody, they'll tell you. I really didn't get really boisterous until the senior year of high school. Okay? Alright, first of all, not everybody's your enemy. Stay with the geeks. Okay, and these are the wimpy geeks. These are the people that are picked on constantly. Stay with them, and they will be your friend. Anybody else, I don't know that I'd really trust them. Okay? Everybody else seemed to have, to me, they all seem to have some kind of agenda, except the ones that got picked on a lot. The ones that got picked on a lot were really nice people. The rest of them, they just seemed to have an agenda. Now, of course, after they got out of high school, they didn't have an agenda anymore. Things shifted for them, but when they were in high school, they just, to me, they seemed to have a real big-time agenda, and it varied from person to person. And if you didn't fit that agenda, you weren't going to get along with them too good. That was just the way I got the experience, and I was like, I'm just glad to have been gone. Alright? Gym class. Our coach was the coach of the football team, okay? Our PE teacher was the coach of the football team. And when I was in junior high, I was in PE, and finally the bullying got so bad for me in school that they finally had to pull me out of PE class, and I ended up doing a whole bunch of PE reports. Okay, so I did typewritten reports and sent them in. I'm kind of glad that happened, because I tell you what, I don't think I could have endured the high school PE. For one thing, I was never a fan of jock straps. I still am not. I don't use them. I don't have them. I don't want to ever see one again. Period. So glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. And even when I exercise, there's no jock strap. Forget that idea. Anyway, phys ed was not where they taught you how to stay physically fit the rest of your life. No, sir. This was a place where they played a lot of violent sports. If you hear Texas-style basketball, kill hockey, kill soccer, or kill football, do your very best to never get the ball and to be as far out of the picture as you possibly can. Okay? And keep in mind that if you have a school bully situation, the school bully will do everything in his power to make sure that you end up with the ball so that you end up getting assaulted. That is a fact. I am telling you it's a fact, and I don't care what anybody else says. I'm telling you that's a fact. So do your very best to keep your distance from the ball. Whoever has the ball, let them have it. They're the ones going to get hurt, not you. Do your very best to stay away. Now, a second notation on this. When you are facing a bullying situation like I was in school, I recommend to you people that you come to my YouTube channel and you start learning everything I'm teaching you, because you can be shifted to a higher academic class, and I was once. One time I actually was shifted to a higher academic class where there was a separation between me and the school bully. And the more you are separated from the bully, the less he sees you, the less he'll bully you. That's a fact. Okay? And there were times when I was separated from the school bully, and when that happened, he bullied me a lot less. Because he didn't see me every day. He doesn't see you, he doesn't pay attention to you, he just picks another target. Let him pick another target. And if you have friends that are being bullied by the same guy who's been bullying you, and you manage to get away, you tell them the same secret as you are learning right here. You come to this channel, you learn what I'm teaching you, and then you get yourself in a higher academic class and leave that bully so far behind it's not even funny. Okay? Now. Alright. Well, you can't really do folder forts with iPads. You know, nowadays kids have these iPads and iPods and all this other stuff. You can't build a folder fort with that. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Alright. I disagree with your advice. I want you to strive to get 100% on all your math tests and every one of your tests. Reason is, number one, get put into higher academic classes, thus separating yourself from bullies. Number two, keep in mind that the higher your academic scores are now, the better chance you are going to have to get a good paying job later on. And then when the school bully is unemployed and he ends up being homeless because he didn't get his high grades but you did, you can stand there and go, well, you know what? I've got the high paying job, you don't. Sorry, too bad, so sad, and you move on. Okay? So yes, get the high grades. It doesn't matter how much those kids hate you. You just keep it in mind that every kid that hates you because you got the high grades are going to be the ones standing on the unemployment lines later on. Let me say that again real slow. The kids that hate you now because you got the 100% on your tests are going to be the same kids later on who are going to stand on the unemployment line or work in fast food restaurants or some other low-paying job for the rest of their natural lives. Until, of course, they get it in their thick skulls they're going to need that education, then they finally go to college, they finally learn a few things, and maybe they get a halfway decent job later on. But they're going to learn a very valuable lesson. You're going to be on the forefront, they're going to be on the back burner. That's the way it'll work. I know this. I live it every day. So you just got to trust me on this. Okay? Don't chew gum. Don't have gum anywhere near you. Why? Because sugared gum will rot your teeth. You'll end up with a ton of cavities. You don't want them. You don't need them. That's it. Okay? I would recommend that you carry mints or you carry little hard candies or something like that. And maybe get a little chocolate or something. I don't know. Just get M&Ms if nothing else. Okay, just a little packet of M&Ms and just quickly swallow them, that kind of thing. And make sure you brush your teeth often while you're doing this. Do not ever chew gum. Period. It can actually, because that's when your teeth get out of place because you're chewing the gum so much, you end up with a nasty little overbite. You can end up with one anyway. I'm not saying you won't, but I'm just saying it can contribute to you having an overbite. I don't care what anybody says. It can contribute to you having an overbite. So you end up with that. You end up with all kinds of problems. You don't need that. You don't need the sugar high. You don't need diabetes. And you certainly do not need cavities. So don't ever chew gum. Period. Alright, when it comes to Spanish classes, I was a rebel in high school. I actually bought some Italian books and I learned Italian instead. If you want to learn Italian, you come to this channel and you will learn Italian. Simple as that. And then when the teacher asks you to say something in Spanish, you say it in Italian instead and impress the teacher and you get to leave anyway. Yes, eavesdrop on people getting in trouble. The reason for that is because when you learn why they got into trouble, you will learn from their mistakes. It's better to learn from their mistakes than mistakes that you learn from yourself. So yes. Okay, you didn't mention the bus driver that's the Gestapo. Let me tell you something. I had a little whippersnapper bus driver. She caught everything. Literally everything. There wasn't one thing that our bus driver missed. She was a nice person, all, but by golly, she had you. She didn't miss anything, and she nailed you good if you misbehaved. There was only 2 times I ever misbehaved on the bus, and she nailed me both times, and it was small things, thank heavens. But other kids, she nailed them. She nailed them flat. She was not afraid of any of those kids. None. So yes, you can end up with the Gestapo on the bus. And you get one of those, watch out. Even if they're a nice Gestapo, they are still a Gestapo anyway. So, alright, when you're walking in the hallway, stay as close to the wall as possible. Try to disappear. Try not to have anybody ever notice you. You're not there to socialize. You're there to learn. And you learn as quick as you can, and you get out as fast as you can. Don't socialize, okay? There's plenty of time after high school to socialize. Once you get out of high school, you do all the socializing you want. You do not have to suddenly get yourself pregnant at 16 years old. It doesn't have to happen that way. You'll have a lot of time to socialize, not only in college, but also in real life. Besides, keep this in mind. When you are a teenager, you don't have the kind of money necessary to not even support yourself, much less a spouse. Dating is supposed to help you get involved in a relationship in which eventually you'll get married. Well, if you're not earning $50,000 a year, you have no business dating anybody. Okay? You just kind of avoid prom, too, for that matter. Because you can't even afford to buy the tickets for prom. You shouldn't be there anyway. Leave that for later. I will help you get to your point where you'll be able to date in the whole 9 yards. You just leave that one alone. Don't you even date until you get out of high school. I'm going to tell you that right now. Do not date until you get out of high school. Unless you're earning $50,000 a year, do not date until you get out of high school. Just take my word for it. You'll be a lot happier. Trust me. And personally, I would not do any kind of driving. I would not so much as get car insurance. Don't get car insurance and don't drive until you're 21. You'll save a barrel of money. You won't have to go to work. This going to work and going to school thing, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. Should not be done. I know that's hard on you, but I'm telling you what, later on you will thank me for this. Not only will you have a spotlessly clean driving record until you're 21, but on top of that, the buttload of money you're going to save. You say, well, I'm going to have to live with my parents until I'm 21. Well, fine, live with your parents till you're 21. Get them to understand why you're still there and why you're still having to follow the rules, because it's going to save you not only in a clean driving record, but on top of that, it's going to save you in tons of car insurance money. You have no idea. And in this economy, you need to save every dollar you can. Do not drive until you're 21. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later. You can disagree with me all you want, but I'm telling you, you'll thank me later. Okay? Never take anything valuable to school. Period. Get yourself a worthless tape recorder that plays a little music with a few cassette tapes. Get the cheapest headphones you can, and if somebody steals that, well, that's only a couple of bucks, no big deal. Or get an MP3 player that's dirt cheap, $5. You go to the dollar store, you buy another $5 cheapy MP3 player. So that's no big deal. Don't take expensive toys, games, anything. Do not take anything to school that is of any value whatsoever. The only thing I ever took to school that had any value whatsoever was my calculator, and I kept it on my person the entire time. I knew exactly where it was. That's right, I had a book bag, I kept it at my side at all times. Nobody ever touched my book bag until the senior year, so there you go. Okay? Alright, that's very important. Anything you take, do not leave anything in your locker except textbooks. Nothing. Well, you might have to leave your coat, but if it's not your coat and it's not your textbooks, do not leave anything in your locker. Ever. You take everything with you. Period. That'll keep them from stealing. Always be smart enough to answer the teacher's questions. You be the first to answer teacher's questions. A lot of kids will thank you for it, and they'll be probably your best friends because you're answering the teacher's questions and they don't have to. So. And yes, I agree with you. Let the teachers forget the homework. Okay? Don't be the stupid nerd that says, "Oh, you forgot to collect our homework." Shut up. Okay? A lot of kids will be really mad at you and will bully you if you do that. So yes, I agree with you. If the teacher forgets to collect your homework, that's their problem. Remember, they're getting paid, you aren't. Okay, they get a big old salary, you don't get diddly squat, so why are you worried about what they're going to collect? They're the ones going to get in trouble, not you. So, let them forget. I agree with you on that. Never lend anything to anybody. You will never get it back. I know they'll always tell you they're going to give it back, and they will not give it back. I don't care if it's pencils, pens, calculators, nothing. Do not lend anything to anybody. If you have to, you tutor them right there. But you do not lend anything to anybody. Period. And if you're going to talk about summer experiences, my advice to you is to talk about it on your Facebook with your friends. Do not talk about your summer experiences in school. Most of those experiences are probably pretty pathetic. I'm like you, especially if you're a poor kid, you know, forget it. So, if they want to know what your summer experiences were, just say, look, I spent time at the library, I studied a lot, the end. Or you can tell them, hey, I watched Ted's YouTube videos, learned a lot of stuff, and impress them with what you learned. Don't tell them what you did, tell them what you learned. So, whew, I know that's a lot to cover here, but that's my response to your rules of high school. I don't know where you went to school, but that's where I went to school, and let me tell you something, it was a survival trip. I survived, and now I'm teaching all of you how to do the same thing. Take my word for everything I said. Trust me implicitly, and you will do well in high school. If you don't, hey, you get picked on, I have no sympathy for it. None. Do your best to disappear, okay? Now, obviously teachers are going to notice you, but if the kids, if your peers do not notice you, it's better. It really is. Blend into the walls. Disappear. Write it out. And when it's over, then you come to my YouTube channel and we'll get you into real life. Okay? A life you can handle. So, that's all I've got to say for all this. What else is there to say? I mean, if you want to comment, you're more than welcome. I would expect a video response. I actually expect you to video respond to this. Matter of fact, I'd be very disappointed and very upset if you did not video respond to this. You should. And everybody, come on in. Send me some video responses. Well, I'd love to see what you have to say about this. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.